Hey there, retro creepers and 8-bit thrill seekers. Welcome back to another Top 10 Thursday, where we take a stroll down pixelated memory lanes, and sometimes dark, haunted hallways. With Halloween creeping up on us, it's time to dust off your NES and dive into some games that are spooky, eerie, or just downright strange. Now, these aren't just the scariest games on the NES. We're mixing atmosphere, fun factor, and pure Halloween vibes to bring you a lineup worthy of the season. So light your jack-o'-lantern, wrap up in your favorite horror movie blanket, and let's count down the top 10 NES games you should play at Halloween! Let's kick things off with a howling good time. Werewolf: The Last Warrior is one of those NES titles that flew under the radar for many. It doesn't exactly sit on many NES favorite lists, but it howls with Halloween energy. You play as a man who transforms into a werewolf to battle mutants in a post-apocalyptic world. It's a strange mix of horror themes and 80s action tropes, but the transformation mechanic and aggressive enemy designs give it a beastly flair. It may not be the tightest platformer on the system, but it's worth checking out for its unique tone and creepy visuals. Plus, what's Halloween without a werewolf? Okay, hear me out. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde isn't a good game. Far from it. In fact, it's kind of infamous for its choices and the confusion it brings to the table. But it's so bizarre, so frustrating, and so broken that it kind of loops back to being unsettling. The mechanics are cryptic, the enemies are nonsensical, and Hyde's sections are like a fever dream. It's the video game equivalent of a cursed VHS tape, and sometimes that's exactly the kind of spooky mess you want to mess around with during Halloween. If you want a so bad it's scary gaming experience, this one earns its place in this list. If you want a game that trades jump scares for dread and mystery, Shadowgate is where it's at. It's pure gothic atmosphere, with an excellent soundtrack and lots of ways to haunt players. This point-and-click adventure places you in a haunted castle filled with traps, puzzles, and a slow drip of death around every corner. One wrong move and you're dead, often in surprisingly graphically written, for the time, ways. It's dark, moody, and constantly tense. It's perfect for a night of slow-burn suspense. From the same twisted minds behind Shadowgate, Uninvited trades the medieval castle for a haunted house setting, turning it into a ghost story you control. You wake up outside a mysterious mansion after a car crash, and your sibling is missing inside. What follows is a puzzle-heavy adventure filled with phantoms, curses, and that distinct McVenture dread. Creepy portraits, strange noises, and the slow uncovering of the house's dark secrets all make this a must-play for anyone looking to get spooked. If Shadowgate was gothic, this one's a straight-up ghost story, and the two games pair beautifully for a Halloween double feature. It's easy to forget, but Fester's Quest is pretty much a survival horror game with Addams Family style. It puts you in the shoes of Uncle Fester as he fights off an alien invasion with oddball weapons and looks for upgrades. It's weird, challenging, and has that unmistakable, creepy funny tone that only the Addams Family can pull off. This is one of the more maligned games on this list thanks to its difficulty, but if you can stick with it, you'll actually get a pretty fun experience with a banging soundtrack. Bonus points if you're playing this during a full moon. Licensed games on the NES were a mixed bag, and this game gets a bad rap, but Friday the 13th on the NES is oddly captivating once you figure out how to play it. Jason stalks campers and counselors across the map, and the game builds tension with a surprising sense of real-time urgency. You'll constantly be switching characters and trying to keep your campers alive. It's not perfect, but the atmosphere and music go a long way toward making this a low-key NES horror gem. And Jason's horrific persistence is another thing to watch out for. This one screams Halloween. Though it starts off looking like a normal platformer, Monster Party is a fever dream of monsters, gory backgrounds, and absurd boss fights. One moment you're fighting a pumpkin-headed ghoul, and the next you're battling a giant piece of shrimp. It's a side-scrolling mess in the best possible way, packed with creepy visuals, B-movie references, and weird humor. It's like the NES tried to make its own Halloween variety show that revels in schlock horror, and because of that, it sticks with you, giving you pure retro nightmare fuel in the best way. Now we're getting into the true classics. Castlevania III took everything great about the first two games and turned the volume up. You've got multiple playable characters, branching paths, and some of the best horror visuals and music the NES ever delivered. Whether you're scaling haunted clock towers or battling nightmarish beasts, Dracula's Curse is classic monster hunting at its finest, a masterpiece that's made for Halloween gaming marathons. You can't have a spooky NES list without Ghosts and Goblins. It's punishingly hard, but it oozes Halloween vibes from every pixel. You're a knight battling zombies, demons, and monsters on your way to save a princess from Satan himself. Whether you make it to the end or not, and let's be honest, you probably won't, the journey is a non-stop ride through gothic horror and arcade challenge. The game's difficulty is the stuff of legend, but if you're looking for a true test of skill this Halloween, this is the one. Before we get to our number one game on the list, let's check out a couple of our honorable mentions. A Nightmare on Elm Street. The game gets a bad rap, but there's something genuinely creepy about the shifting dream world mechanic. Plus, it's one of the rare 4-player NES games, making it a great one for Halloween parties. Little Nemo, the Dream Master. It might look cute at first glance, but don't let that fool you. The later levels of this dreamy platformer are full of dark imagery, creepy enemies, and a surprisingly haunting atmosphere. It's like Alice in Wonderland, if Wonderland gave you nightmares. Castlevania is the definitive Halloween NES game. You are Simon Belmont, armed with a whip and tasked with taking down Dracula and his horde of monsters in a creepy, cursed castle. It has everything: iconic music, moody environments, and classic horror movie monsters as iconic bosses, like Frankenstein, mummies, and Dracula himself. It's also got an unforgettable soundtrack and satisfying gameplay that's incredibly replayable. It's the perfect blend of challenge, style, and spooky atmosphere. No NES Halloween is complete without a trip to Castlevania. And there you have it, 10 NES games that bring the chills, thrills, and occasional pixelated shriek just in time for Halloween. Whether you're battling vampires, dodging aliens, or getting lost in haunted mansions, these games prove the NES had plenty of spooky spirit hiding behind those 8-bit visuals. Got a favorite Halloween-themed NES game we missed? Drop it in the comments below. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single Thursday throwback. Until next time, stay spooky, keep it classic, and have a happy Halloween. It's dark, moody, and constantly tense. It's perfect for a night of slow burn suspense. Check out our review for Arcade Paradise. It's a very fun, retro-heavy game. If you're into D&D, you can also check out our sister channel, Tellust, where we have plenty of maps on display. And we'll also be refreshing this channel with new retro reviews, so keep an eye out.